All right. Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I would like to give our praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, the man who taught me this truth. I would like to say shalom to you, Akim, and you, Akwath, you men, women, and little ones that believe on the words of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah. It's your brother, Micah Allah, coming at you with another lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shah, Shah, Lord willing to edify. And the title of this lesson is simply Robot Dogs at Data Centers. Evils increase, you see. And we're in the times of evils. And you're seeing and hearing, these Esau bring out these robot dogs, to replace security, and patrol these data centers, because you got these average Americans having uproars about the data centers and, they crying out about it, how much is water is being used just to, keep these data centers, cool. And the people will are and continue to be affected by these data centers. You see, but all of this is going into Esau's ultimate plans, which is to establish his new world order, which, as it is written in Job, when this devil is about to fill his belly, that's when Yahweh Shah is going to cast his fury upon this devil. You see, so everything that we're witnessing is all prophetic. You can always go back to the scriptures and tie it back to the testimony of Yahweh Shai, which is the spirit of prophecy. You see? And these robot dogs are not just to patrol data centers. No, it's a far more, sinister plan behind these robots even being created. Because it's really created for the people, those that come against these devils' new world order. It's really for the masses of you people, to control the masses of you people, man. That's why he wants to put a chip in you, as you got this dude, Chris Johnson, which is a former football player for the Tennessee Titans. I think he got ALS, something like that. And, he's using Esau's miracles on the left-hand side, to sustain, so Esau's pushing that, spirit out there, getting the people used and comfortable to technology and AI. And now here go this right here, end time headlines. It says $300,000 robot dogs are being deployed to guard AI data centers, It says advanced four-leg robots are now patrolling some of the nation's largest data centers that underpin the rapid expansion of AI infrastructure. It says these autonomous quadrupeds developed by companies like Boston Dynamics are stepping into security roles traditionally filled by humans, you see. Equipped with sophisticated navigation capabilities, they can traverse complex environments independently, monitor for potential threats, and deliver continuous video surveillance while alerting authorities as needed. And really, these robot dogs, these robots, like how Elon Musk got, and other, corporations that's not even spoken about that's going to bring forth these different robots. You got DARPA, and many behind the scenes companies that actually, create these robots, and Esau showed you, through predictive programming, that he been had this technology like robots and shit like that. Cause going back to, it's a video game called, I think it was Black Ops 3 first introduced it. Like where you'll be, fighting robots and shit. I think it was Black Ops 3 if I ain't mistaken. But even before then, Black Ops 2, you had certain robot machines, and not robot, but Black Ops 2 was basically like a video game, like a futuristic type video game. And the year that they had was 2025. Like the gameplay of it was for the gameplay year 2025, But the game came out in 2012, But it's just to show you Esau Ben had this shit. He shows you this through his movies like Terminator, and other movies out there or video games, that literally shows you that what we're living in, he already had these plans to bring it to the forefront from the beginning. You see, so it's not a shocker, especially those of us that are in this truth, the Lord already said, a prudent man foreseeth the evil. You see, let's go right down. It's Proverbs 22 and verse 3. It says, a prudent man foreseeth the evil and hideth himself, but the simple pass on and are punished. Yeah, a wise man foresees the evil, And that's why having this doctrine is important, because prophecy tells you that Esau was going to move this way, He's going to be like a roaring lion, sparing none. He was given a great sword, And that great sword goes into his AI system, goes into his robots and direct energy weapons and all type of other military weapons that this man has behind the scenes that he just hasn't displayed as yet. All that goes into this man's sword. That's why no other nation has been able to come up against Esau Edom, the so-called white man, because he was given divine intervention, on the left-hand side by Yahweh Shemal Shai, to keep himself and to flex himself, against these heathens. Even though, of course, these heathens got their own weapons and shit like that. Like, China got a decent military, got weaponry. Russia got weaponry, but, Russia is just a bunch of Edomites any fucking way, like Lil Pooty, But, Ham ain't got what Esau got, Moab and Ammon ain't got what Esau got, because they wasn't given the blessing from Isaac, which is that sword. You see, Esau was given that blessing, and that was, the power of Yahweh Shemal Shai on the left hand, giving it to Esau, because, the Lord ruleth in the kingdom of men. You see, so this man here is only using, what was given to him. You see, it ain't like he came up with it on his own. No, this is, power on the left-hand side. You see, but a prudent man, going back, Proverbs 22 and 3, it says, a prudent man foreseeth the evil and hideth himself. So we understand that this man possesses these weapons. We understand that he has, the sword, So who do you so-called Negro Latinos and Native Americans, as well as you Israelite foreigners out there, are supposed to hide yourself under? You're supposed to hide yourself under the power that gave him this great sword, that gave him this authority for a season to rule. Scriptures tell you how this devil, after the Renaissance period, with what ruled for a little season. You see? And it's Yahweh Shemal Shai who raises up kings and puts down kings, man. So a prudent man foreseeth the evil and hideth himself under Yahweh Shema Shai, but the simple pass on and are punished. And that's why really these robots are created for 2/3, man. Because it's already written that the elect, the Lord's gonna lift up their standard for the elect in these last days. And he's gonna give, some of his men spiritual power to be able to what? Destroy Esau's advances, like his robots, different weapon systems, military. So like, So the elect has nothing to worry about because at the end of the day, the Lord is in control. You see? But 2/3 doesn't have that mindset of knowing that it's the Lord behind all these things. That's what makes them simple. And that's why they're going to what? Die. While the Lord said, my people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. You see? They're literally going to be destroyed for the fact that they don't know what's going on, man. That's why we still got, dumbass Jakes out here trusting in Esau, trusting in your enemy. You just had this Jake down in Mississippi. The news been going around, how he was put to death by some Edomites, man. But that's what you get for trusting in your enemy, man. And you're gonna have a lot of Jakes that's gonna trust in Esau in these last days, and that's gonna be to their destruction. You see? Ecclesiastes 3:1, it says, to everything there's a season and a time to every purpose under the heaven, a time to kill and a time to heal, a time to break down and a time to build up. You see, so we are in the time of war. We're in a time where a lot of people is going to be destroyed, man. And mainly other tribes. You see? That's why the scripture tell you measure the times diligently in itself. So you're supposed to be measuring, and paying attention to certain moves Esau's making. You're supposed to be paying attention, to the vibration of the planet Earth. The Lord told us that, the love of many will wax cold in these last days, man. And how much more your enemy, Esau has always had a perpetual hatred for the so-called Negro, Latino, and Native American. That's never changed, but Jake still got that mentality that like, well, one day he gonna change. I'm gonna make him change. No, he's not gonna change. You see? And he's definitely not gonna keep playing this role like he's your friend, because his kingdom is falling. It says a time to love and a time to hate, a time of war and a time of peace. And it's the time where Esau, Edom is going to hate you tribes more than ever. Scriptures tell you how this time is going to be like a time like no other since there was a nation. So the hatred that Esau always had for you, the Lord's going to intensify that times 100, you see? And it's going to be mainly geared towards you Israelites. That's why he's making war with you. He's just doing it in a crafty manner. Let's go here. It's Revelations 12 in verse 12. It says, therefore rejoice ye heavens and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he have but a short time. So the scriptures already tell you why this man's going to come down the way that he is. It's because he knows that his time of ruling, calling the shots, his influence being in the earth, all of that is at an end, The Lord got this man on the clock, you see? And that's why he's going to come down upon you Israelites having great wrath, because he knows that he has a short time to rule. You see? Here it is. America just celebrated 250 years of straight terror, And they know good and well that time is up, man. It's only a matter of time before it's made manifest. Second Ezra 14:13 says, now therefore set thine house in order and reprove thy people. Comfort such of them as be in trouble and now renounce corruption. You see? So we are to set our houses in order, you know, get our minds right for these times, because we're about to be tried. We're all going to experience the hour of temptation. You know, we're going to see robots in the streets, patrolling the streets. We're going to see robo dogs. You're going to see Esau come out with different things that you didn't even know existed. But continuing in the doctrine of Yahweh Shema Shai, continuing in the faith of Yahweh Shema Shai, and understanding that the Lord controls Esau. The Lord controls these robots. The Lord controls all scenarios that take place on the planet Earth. You know, seeing the Lord controls it, that's why Yahweh Shai said, fear not. You see? But it says, comfort such of them as be in trouble, you know, and now renounce corruption. When we have the comforter, so we're able to be in, our minds are able to be comforted as these evils increase. We're not being overwhelmed here, you know. Continuing on, it says, let go from the mortal thoughts, cast away the burdens of man, put off now the weak nature, and set aside the thoughts that are most heavy unto thee, and haste thee to flee from these times. You see? So this is the time to let go of mortal thoughts. You know, Scripture tell you, cast your burdens upon the Lord, and he shall sustain thee. He'll never suffer the righteous to be moved. You see? And these are, you know, foundational scriptures that the Lord is going to bless us to remember. As the Lord said, Isaiah 33:6, wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times and strength of salvation. The fear of the Lord is his treasure. You see? So that's the main way to escape these times, is by having faith and fear of Yahweh Shema Shai. You see? So we're not worried about these evils that's to come, because it's written to come anyway. So why worry about it? And why worry when the Lord said it, that he was going to lift that standard up for us? You see? It says, for yet greater evils than those which thou hast seen happen shall be done hereafter. You see? Evils and only evils, behold, is come. For look how much the world should be weaker through age, so much the more shall evils increase upon them that dwell therein. You see, so evils are going to continue to increase, but fear not. Let's get this. I'm going to close out with this. St. John 14 and verse 1, it says, let not your heart be troubled. Ye believe in the Most High Yahweh, believe also in me. You see? So let not your heart be troubled, man. You know? Don't let your mind be overwhelmed with what's to come and thinking about, you know, mortal things like, well, what I'm going to do when Esau kick my door in, or what I'm going to do if Esau take my children, you know, what I'm going to do if this scenario was to happen. Who's to say that what you're thinking in your head is even going to happen? Because at the end of the day, we don't know what the Lord is going to do. We don't know how the Lord's going to do it. You see? All we know is what's written. The Lord didn't give us the in-depthness on how each and every prophecy was going to play out, you know, to the T. No, the Lord comprehended much in few words, man. The Lord just told you, okay, I'm going to do this right here. And all you got to do is just believe that I'm going to get you out of it, no matter what the situation is. And keep moving forward, man. You see? Because he that endureth unto the end, the same shall be saved. It's just about endurance, man. You see? But Lord willing, that was edifying. I would like to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, the man who taught me this truth. Peace and blessings be to the hopeful elect, your men, women, and little ones that believe on the words of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah.